to be the hero, but turned into the villain. Something like the Penguin, never like Bruce Wayne. I came from the gutter, not addicted to the fame, but the streets know my name, beat them at their own game. 20 years later, claim the head of the table. I'm my brother's keeper, but more Cain than Abel. Eliminate your bloodline, I'm the tribal boss. Murder so many tribe, calling tribe Lord Ross. It's a scary story, son, and all these rappers sending them the moral. Never did it for the glory or the hot taste, did it for Grandma Ruby, who said I was special right out the gate. So continue to hate when you failed to see. You took your best shot and you bricked your three. The BSO legacy like the Bulls dynasty. My G, it looks like you need some milk. Let me call RG3. These are facts, not feelings. 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 It's the Headline King Robert Littal. Caitlin Clark has been enjoying a quiet off season like she said she would, playing a little golf, hanging out with Lexi Hall like a lot of the RG3s wish they could. Today, she was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. And before I clicked on the article, I thought to myself, if Caitlin Clark went Denzel on everybody, I wouldn't have a problem. And when I say everybody, I literally mean everybody. I'm not taking sides here. I'm talking about OG WNBA players, current WNBA players, racist MAGA fans, hot take media, gatekeeping WNBA media, people that just like to stir the pot, the people that have created multiple narratives over the last 2.5 years and used Caitlin Clark as their prop for whatever insecurities, jealousy, narratives that they want to put out to the public. If she had decided that she wanted to call out every single one of them, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But CC, to her credit, took the high road in this interview with Time Magazine. She spoke about white privilege, which is a real thing. She spoke about how black athletes and black women athletes in general have to deal with things that she doesn't have to deal with, how they're not compensated fairly, and how she hopes the attention that she has brought to women's basketball will increase their pay, increase their sponsorships, increase advertisers taking a look at them and seeing that there can be money, to be made. Individual players who have not necessarily had Caitlin Clark's back throughout her time in college and in the WNBA, she had an opportunity to rally a certain fan base against those players, and she chose not to. Very complimentary, as always, for Angel Reese. Complimentary of Trinity Carter. Complimentary of Carrington. Even though she gets poked in the eye, she gets ran over, she gets used once again as a prop. But nothing but complimentary words for those. Actually, even more than complimentary, coming to their defense about how the media treats them. She has spoken about racism and that particular subset of fans that have used her for political reasons. She's 22 years old. She plays ball. She's not going to cure racism, but she is aware of it. And has said multiple times that she is not for that. She took the high road. And we've had discussions before about, is the high road the best road to go at times, especially in the not so United States of America? because class, we're going to have a lesson on cause and effect. Something I hope they still teach you in school, cause and effect. We know that there are individuals out there whose entire life revolves around trolling and getting reactions. We know there's professional people in media that do this as well. You have to understand that while no one should be harassed, no one should be threatened, no one name should be called out of their name, none of this should ever happen. There is a cause and effect. There's a trigger, to that. If you do something, there's going to be a reaction to it. I give you an example that has nothing to do with women's basketball or the WNBA. Debo Samuel yesterday tweeted, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not diminished as a player. I'm just not getting the ball." Cause and effect. You have to know, if you say that the discussion then will be, well, if he's not getting the ball, who's not throwing him the ball? Now the discussion becomes about Brock Purdy and the coach, Kyle Shanahan. Cause and effect. If you say it, no matter if you say, well, I wasn't talking about my teammates, doesn't matter. When you say it, there's going to be a reaction. And there's a responsibility in what you say and what you do. If you shoulder block an individual that is as popular as Caitlin Clark, there's going to be a reaction. If you poke somebody in the eye as popular as Caitlin Clark, there's going to be a reaction. If you can't see me, there's going to be a reaction. It's a cause and effect. And the reaction may not be the one that you want. It may not be positive. It's probably going to be negative, because people love negative interactions more than they do positive ones. You have to be cognizant of these type of situations. You have to think to yourself before you do certain things. If I do this, am I prepared for the reaction? If I tweet this, if I go on Instagram, if I give an interview and they ask me a question and I say something to the effect, even if it's true, the main reason that Caitlin Clark is popular is because she's white, there's going to be a reaction. There's a cause. There's effect. If you want to dampen some of the reaction, then be careful about the things that you're saying and doing to cause it. That is not a sports lesson. That is not a women's basketball lesson. That's a life lesson. And we've seen people lose their lives over things that they've done, not realizing what the reaction could be. At times, we can all be emotional human beings. At times, we all do things that in retrospect, we said, what were we doing? One time I tried to get into a fight with a police officer at a Canelo Alvarez weigh-in. I think about it all the time. I just was having a bad day. But if he would have shot me because of this altercation, probably would have got away with it. We live in a society where I do stories about the cops creating their own crack cocaine to sell to poor people in their community, just so they can arrest those same poor people and keep them impoverished. I do stories where a white man can put a black man in a chokehold for several minutes and murder him and be acquitted. I've done hundreds of stories of police officers and abuse that have gotten away with it. I did thousands of stories about injustice with not just black athletes, but black individuals. There's a lot to talk about in regards to how black people are treated in America. Wasting your time trying to make Caitlin Clark a villain is not one of those things.